Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel, Love for Intuitive Astrology. So my name is Michelle and I'm an intuitive astrologer. I combine my knowledge of astrology with my intuition, and this will be reflected in this video. So today I will talk about the upcoming month of April 2025. And I'm going to start off with describing this month in general, the aspects, and then we're going to dive into each and every single sign. I recommend you to watch your sun sign and your rising sign, but you can also check your moon sign, okay? If you want to know more precise, your birth chart or a year reading, things like that, you can book a private reading with me. You find my email in the description box below. So let's have a look at the month of April, because since the beginning of the year, we've been going through a lot of purging energies, cleansing, cleaning. It's about cleaning the past, right? We've been having Mars retrograde and Venus retrograde and Mercury retrograde as well since March. That will continue in April. The good news is on the 7th of April, Mercury will station direct. And on the 12th of April, during this full moon in Libra, Venus will station direct as well, okay? So you will see that after mid-April, things will start to move a little bit faster, okay? Because before maybe you felt a bit stuck. And sometimes feeling stuck means something needs to be removed, cleaned, let go of before you can move on, right? Because there needs to be the space in order for the next steps to come to you. So if you are not completely on the right path yet, but you feel it's the right path, it's just that maybe there is something blocking your progress. And during all these retrogrades, you definitely have the time to really reevaluate everything, okay? This can be your job, this can be your relationships, and any frustrations that have been coming up, really showing you where you need to change something, okay? And we're going to have a full moon, right, on the 12th of April. This one will be at 23 degrees. And again, this will be a very powerful full moon where you have a chance of healing. And this is because this full moon is in opposition with Chiron, and the sun, right, is always in an opposition with the moon during the full moon. And the sun is in a conjunction with Chiron as well. So if we look at Libra, this is about the scales, right? This is about balance. Then we have Aries. Aries is about empowering yourself, leadership. So Chiron is telling you, okay, what do you need to heal when it comes to your identity, right? Aries rules the first house. This is about your identity. So who you are, how you initiate in life, right? If you want something, are you going after it or are you waiting? And Libra is like, while doing, while pursuing, while healing, you have to stay balanced, right? It's presented by the scales. And if one of the two scales goes down, the other one goes up. You're out of balance. So here you're going to see what needs healing. So for example, you have a relationship. Libra is the sign of relationships. And we just passed Mars retrograde and Venus retrograde. And well, Venus retrograde will be up until the 12th, and then it's going to station direct. So if your relationship survived through all these months, it means you're good. For most of you are good. If you started having doubts, you felt insecure, things like that, these came up for a reason. These need healing. So you can come together, talk about it, and create a more balanced relationship. This is not just romantic relationships, right? This is also friendships, maybe your relationship with your family. And even because Venus also stands for money, right? So money. I'm going to dive into all the signs, so I will let you know which house this full moon will be. But in general, this is a massive healing step, okay? And there is a square with Mars and Mars is still in Cancer, but the good news is that you're gonna have Mars moving in the sign of Leo, and that will be from the 18th of April, okay? So we will have Mars again in a fire sign, so you're gonna have a lot more energy. The thing is that we have Pluto in opposition with Mars again, okay? After the 18th of April until the end of the month. So in May, a lot of things will shift, but I will explain to you that to you in May, okay? May is gonna be more calm, more tranquilo, like we would say here in Spain. It's not gonna be so overwhelming, okay? So these are the last steps. So if you feel like you're feeling a bit frustrated, things are gonna slow down soon, okay? This is your last moment of empowering yourself before you take action, before you're gonna go after the things that you want to achieve, okay? But especially after mid-April, you can produce new things again. Because before that, it was hard. Like, you were being slowed down. Maybe there was a bit of overthinking, especially with Mercury retrograde. Up until the 7th of April, you might be feeling a bit like, you know, am I doing this right? Am I saying this right? How can I improve something? Because Mercury retrograde wants you to go back to maybe read your emails twice before you send them, read a contract multiple times. That's why it's recommended to actually sign it outside of Mercury retrograde. But yeah, so now it's time to let go these last bits and pieces before you're gonna take action, okay? But a lot of you have been planning behind the scenes, and we had a North Node shift at the beginning of the year in the sign of Pisces. And this month in April is pretty major because the whole month we're going to have Venus and Saturn in a conjunction, and in a conjunction with the North Node. So Saturn is all about responsibilities, and Venus is about love, it's about money. So again, you're going to have a kind of a chapter in April where you're gonna reevaluate and make a plan towards money management. So how are you gonna make your money? Maybe you're gonna have to work a little harder this month, or you're gonna have to be shown some lessons on how to deal with money in the best way. Saturn likes people who work hard, but also people who work smart, okay? It's not just working hard without an end goal. So make sure that if you're gonna dive into subjects as money, that you're gonna make a good plan. And it's better to take it slow and precise than go really quick, because Saturn will hold you back, right? You're not ready. This is not the right time. And also the North Node is quite uncomfortable because this is a new destiny, a new beginning, and something new is very often very uncomfortable. And the South Node is where we've been already. So it's like here you gained your knowledge, here you're feeling comfortable. So when we have the transit, it's really pushing you towards something new, and maybe, you know, you're gonna have to give up something, like you have to change your diet, right? Maybe your diet is not good according to your body type, and you're not having the best results. And, you know, this is something that I've been working with. I noticed that actually I'm not able to digest all foods, and that has been keeping my energies lower than I wanted them to. So I had to really puzzle with that. So just an example, but something that is not finished yet, or something that you have to overcome in order to move forward, move towards your destiny, okay? So you either come together in relationships, work on it, or you're gonna make a certain decision that requires big responsibility, okay? So it's gonna be quite a responsible month. It's gonna be feeling a bit odd, a bit weird, same with work. Maybe you're getting like a new project or something new, and you might feel uncomfortable, and it requires responsibility from your side, but through hard work, patience, and working smart, you're gonna make it work. I I don't know if you hear that. That's our dog. And it's so funny because I'm vegetarian and we took over an abandoned dog. Like the owner didn't want the dog, but it's a hunting dog. So every time we walk here, people are like, oh, that's so nice. You have a hunting dog. Like it does hunt animals. And because unfortunately this poor thing has been in a very difficult situation, he doesn't even hunt. So he's like a bit different. He's so sweet, but he howls a bit like a wolf. So it's funny. Anyways, let's move on. We have on the 27th of April, we're going to have a new moon in the sign of Taurus. Okay, so we're going into Taurus season from the 19th of April. And this new moon is a bit of a, how do you say it? Tough cookie. And I don't want to bring negativity because I think all placements are leading to something good. This, remember I said like Mars is going in the sign of Leo. That's going to be at 4 degrees during this new moon. And Pluto is direct in an opposition at 3 degrees. So we have a quite close opposition. And so it's going to make like a T-square with this new moon. So something has to, again, let go of, transformed. And sometimes that goes through anger. So people might like, like burst or say stand up for themselves. Because we also have a square with Mars, okay? So there is a bit of a volatile energy. But if used in a right way, you can become like someone who is like a warrior, you know, very strong, very persistent. And if you work with this energy, you can get a lot of things done. Okay. We have for most of the month, we have a lot of sextiles with Uranus. Uranus is direct as well. It's unexpected. Okay. So you might be feeling sometimes that you're a bit ungrounded. But luckily by the end of the month when Taurus season is starting, you're gonna feel a little bit more grounded. But still things are, you might be excited, you might be having lots of different ideas. And especially around the 5th of April, we're gonna have like the moon, Mercury, Venus, it's Mars, Saturn, and the North Node. They're all making a sextile with Uranus, okay? So you might be having a lot of creative ideas. So make sure to write them down because it might be overwhelming. Yeah, you might be feeling more brave. And I'm pretty sure with this placement around this time, we might be seeing more protests. So people standing up for something, standing up for certain rights, because we have Pluto in Aquarius. Aquarius is the sign that wants equality, that wants to come together as a community. It's also about technology, but we've been seeing that, right, with a lot of AI and we must experience extremes of technology in order to find a balance. So Pluto is dragging you through the underworld, showing you it, and then saying, okay, are you comfortable with this? And this is where you need boundaries, right? Like how far are you willing to look in the underworld? Because most likely you want to look, experience, and then go back to the light. Take the knowledge, go back to the light. You have to be informed. This is really important. But then you have to let go and have good boundaries. So I think Pluto is such an intriguing planet. That's why I made so many videos about it. Yeah, it's just a lot of empowering energy. So use it right and you can do, you know, you can break a lot of maybe fear, right? Because there has been Mars square Chiron. That's going to go away this month by the end of the month. That has been stopping you from moving forward or maybe making you feel like, yeah, I'm maybe not working hard enough. I should do more. But you had to learn how to be a little bit more strategic and maybe have a bit more rest. Like only working is not always going to get stuff done. Okay. So there's so many aspects this month. It's a very creative one, rebellious one. It's gonna come in waves, but also it's time to sit down, be serious, make a plan, And even if it feels uncomfortable, if you're gonna go a completely new direction, this could be moving or a relationship, make sure that you take this responsibility and you can work with these energies. I think I've said enough because I can talk so much more because there's so many aspects. But as you know, I do separate videos as well for the new moon and the full moon. So yeah, best to check out those as well. I'm gonna get the chart up, and not to forget Neptune in Aries. Okay, we have Neptune in Aries, and for most of the month, if I say this correctly, yeah, we have Mars trine Neptune, so that's a very creative energy as well. And it's, you know, the North Node, Saturn and Venus are in the sign of Pisces. So if you're on the spiritual path, this has been a massive opportunity for you to clean the energies, to go through uncomfortable pain. Saturn is the planet of karma, so if you're up for that, it's a beautiful challenge because you will come out very different. Okay, sometimes we think we're walking backwards, but we're actually not. We're taking out everything that we've been suppressing for years. Has to come out. Anyways, let's start with all the signs. So Aries, Sun, Moon and Rising. So this month of April, well, first of all, happy birthday if April is your birthday month. I hope you're gonna have an amazing time. Around your birthday, it's always good to do a little manifestation. So because the sun is on your sun, so your energies are bigger, so it's easier to manifest something. Yeah, we're gonna have this full moon in Libra. It's going to be at 23 degrees. In your 7th house. So this is highlighting your relationships. And I don't know if you listened to the introduction, but this is very much something related to what you're going through, Aries. So this is about finding balance, okay? Being in a relationship without losing yourself, without giving up something of yourself to please someone else. Okay, so some of you thought, you know, if I'm going to be with this person, I have to be like that because that person likes that. But Chiron in the 1st house has been telling you, you know, Aries, you're good enough just as you are. You don't need to adjust or change anything, right? The only thing in a relationship required is compromise, but not at the cost of yourself, okay? Of course, you cannot stay stubborn. This is what I want and I will not change my mind. And then your partner is doing the same. If you're single, this is also the time to reevaluate all of that. And, you know, you have Mercury retrograde in the 12th and the 1st house and up until the 7th of April. And I wanted to say Venus retrograde in the 12th house. So you're cleaning up a lot of subconscious patterns when it comes to relationships. Saturn is there as well. So, and the North Node. So some of you had to rest. You had to go in yourself through meditation, through hypnosis, through walking in nature. And Pisces is also swimming. So through swimming, you had to learn many things about yourself, maybe things that you didn't know might have been bothering you. Okay, so massive opportunity for healing. Then we're gonna have this on the 27th of April. There's going to be a new moon in Taurus, which will be in your 2nd house in Taurus. So this is related to your money, and we're gonna have a T-square with Mars and Pluto. So Pluto is in your 11th house and Mars is in the 5th house, okay? So be careful with what you share about your finances with your friends, also maybe even with your children, because there might be some fights about finances, okay? A little bit of a disagreement. Also, Neptune now in your sign, Aries. If you're an early Sun, Moon, or Rising, you might be zoning out a little bit. You might be feeling very ethereal. And Neptune has 2 things. You can either feel very lost, also with Saturn and Venus retrograde and North Node in the 12th house. You don't connect to your higher self, which is the last house, right? Like the 12th house is telling you that you have to connect to something higher than yourself. Look at that, hope. So there's a lot of new hope coming into your life. Look at the light. So you're gonna shine really bright. So don't give up and work on your spirituality, because that's gonna help you a lot. Partnerships and alliances, like we talked about that during this full moon. It's time to find balance in your friendships, in your partnerships, and within yourself. Because first you have to be balanced within yourself. And then in a relationship, it's so much easier to, to be balanced. Emotional withdrawal. We talk about this as well. I love how when you talk and the astrology and the cards are aligning, and also in the private readings that I'm doing, 9 out of 10 times the cards indicate exactly what we talked about. Because that's alignment. So you're gonna have an emotional withdrawal. You're gonna move forward, but you need time to rest, okay? It's about moving forward, and especially after mid-April, you have more freedom to move forward, but don't go too quick. Take some time to clean out all those things, do some meditations, and you're gonna be absolutely fine. So that's my message for you, my amazing Aries. If you like this video, if you want to help my channel, subscribe to it, leave a comment. I read all my comments and I super appreciate those. Thank you so much. And until next time, let's move on to Taurus. So Taurus, Sun, Moon, and Rising. First of all, happy birthday to my early birthday sun sign, Taurus. So you know that around your birthday, it's really good to do a little manifestation. And also because there's going to be a new moon on the 27th of April, which is going to be in your sign. That's going to highlight your new intention. So do a little manifestation during this new moon and or your birthday. That's going to be really, really helpful. So yeah, we're going to have a full moon in a sign of Libra. It's going to be in your 6th house. This has all to do with your health. And what does Libra want? It wants you to be balanced. It wants you to feel good. So if your health is a bit out of balance, what do you need to do in order to heal that? We have Chiron and the Sun in an opposition with this full moon, and it's in your 12th house. So Aries is in the 12th house, showing you that maybe you need a little bit more rest for some of you. Maybe you need to rest in order to figure out what might need some healing. And you're going to feel more energized. You're going to feel better. Because people are like, you know, when you do astrology, they want to hear about money and, you know, love and all these things. But what are all those things if the basics are not grounded? If you're not healthy, you cannot enjoy love. You cannot enjoy all those things. So first you have to make sure that you're energized and you're feeling well. And then everything else is going to be so much easier. And also you're becoming a vortex of energy, so you can draw in more things to you. So sometimes when we think we're going to slow down and, you know, you're not fast enough, you're not doing enough, actually it's going to backfire because you might be going too quick and, you know, you're never going to fully figure out what you need to remove, what needs to be let go of. So this month is about taking action, but also sitting still in the moment to figure out how can I optimize my health. So a new diet, a new diet, and also Neptune in the 12th house now is helping you connecting. So meditation might go a bit easier for you. At the same time, Neptune can become, in the worst case, you feel a bit lost, okay? So if you want to connect with Neptune and you want to work with this planet in the 12th house, do your meditation, walking, healing, self-healing, but especially your health, okay? Doing some sports, walking. For some of you, especially with Libra, they're in the 6th house, you need cold and fresh air sometimes to like kind of feel awakened. So go in the mountains, do a hike, or go to an area, I don't know, ski area, to make you feel better. We have the North Node, Saturn and Venus. Luckily, Venus stationing direct on this full moon in your 11th house. So this month, you're going to focus on community. And, you know, maybe the community that you've been in is not the community that you see on the long term, right? Saturn wants you to build something on the long term. So you are working on building a long-term community. And this can be through work. Maybe you want to have a community with the work that you're doing. This could also literally be friendships. You are reevaluating and filtering and seeing who you want to keep in your life on the long term, okay? Awareness. So a lot of you have a much bigger awareness. Things that weren't so clear before are starting to become a lot clearer for you now. What did we just talk about? Rest and rejuvenate. And this person is in the middle of the forest, okay? So on the 27th of April, there's this new moon, and it's going to be at 7 degrees. So especially if you have sun, moon, and rising at 7 degrees, you're going to be highly impacted. And this new moon is gonna make a T-square with Pluto and Mars, okay? So be careful at work that you're not exploding in family or in your work situation. But this could also actually, on the highest form, this could be a massive breakthrough, standing up for yourself. So make sure that you remove the anger and you empower yourself and stand up for yourself if you have to, or make a bold move, maybe that you wouldn't have done otherwise. Jupiter in the second house is so good for money. So you are in a money cycle, especially if you're a Taurus rising. Star Keeper. See the light by staying grounded. Okay, so make sure to stay grounded, because Uranus is making a lot of aspects to your planets in the 11th house. So you might be feeling very excited, but then tired and excited, and you might be feeling a lot of things. So make sure that you stay grounded. I like that. Star Keeper. Some of you are maybe interested in astrology, right? Or in the stars, astronomy. And yesterday we walked in the village and it was just so beautiful. We had the clearest sky ever and we could see all the stars in the sky. It was really, really beautiful. So maybe you want to do some stargazing as well, Taurus. So yeah, a very breakthrough month. You're gonna have a lot of answers. So maybe to your health, also with work, with your friends. So if you're feeling a little bit uncomfortable, it's all coming together this month, okay? So that's my message for you, my amazing Taurus. If you like this video, subscribe to my channel so I can make many of these videos for more of these videos for you. Leave a comment below how this resonates with you. And I hope to see you next time. Thank you so much for being here. Let's move on to Gemini. So Gemini, Sun, Moon, and Rising. So on the 12th of April at 23 degrees in your 5th house, we're going to have this full moon in Libra. And Libra is all about balance, right? And the 5th house is about romance. And you're gonna, some of you even could meet someone, because Venus is about the station direct. And it's going to be in an opposition with your 11th house. So you could be out and about, meeting meeting someone. And yeah, so there is a possibility of meeting someone for some of you, especially there with Jupiter in the 1st house. You're feeling more optimistic and you are more out there, okay? And in a positive way. You are drawing a lot of people in. So it's important that you're gonna filter, okay? That you're filtering. And there's also the North Node, Saturn and Venus there in the 10th house. So new work or a destiny, a change in your job, maybe more responsibilities for you. and you're gonna have to work maybe a little bit harder. Luckily, you're gonna get the energy to do that, and especially when all the planets are gonna be direct again, you know, Mercury and Venus, you're gonna be feeling a lot better. So after this full moon, you're gonna feel a lot more empowered. This full moon is also about creativity and healing yourself. So maybe you felt like your creativity shouldn't be shared with other people. A little bit like, you know, maybe it's stupid if I share that, or what are people going to think? Well, I don't know if you've seen the internet, but every single, even the most amazing person is gonna get negative comments, negative things, you know. This is unfortunately the reality that we live in. So you have to choose something that makes you happy. And what other people think about that, I mean, people are gonna always comment or gossip, and you know, most of the time you don't even know, because if you're doing something new and people talking about it behind your back, you won't know it. So why not go after something that truly suits you? Okay, accelerated motion. So look at that. This is like a fast track. So after mid-April, things are gonna go a lot faster for you. Then on the 27th of April, there's going to be a new moon in the sign of Taurus, and this will be in your 12th house at 7 degrees. Maybe around this new moon, you want to take a little bit of a rest, okay? If you're traveling, especially Gemini ascendant, be very, very careful. Make sure that if you drive or on the road, that you keep your eyes open and that you check your flight schedule on time. If something doesn't feel right, just listen to your intuition, okay? I don't want to scare people. It's just we have Mars and Pluto in opposition, so it's gonna bring some maybe fights with the flight attendant, or, you know, going angry in the car, you're not paying attention. So it's important that you stay grounded. And Taurus is telling, like, Taurus in the 12th house is really saying, you know, staying grounded can go through resting. Harmony. So this month is about finding your harmony with this full moon in Libra. Yeah, and also maybe if some of you have children as well, right? Because 5th house is children, that you felt like you're the only one with a child in your friend group. And with Aries there in the 11th house, you're feeling a bit left out, like, you know, everyone has children, or the other way around actually. And you're feeling that you're just not part of the group. And now it's time to heal that, you know, because people always want what they don't have. People without, you know, it's like people with curls want straight hair, and then people who have this want that. Like most of the time, you know, they really liked being single after being in a relationship. Others want to be in a relationship. So stay with your own wisdom, okay? Stay with your own wisdom and what makes you happy. And I'm getting memories of love, especially at the beginning of this month with Venus retrograde up until the 12th of April. You're going to go back into what makes you happy regarding work, okay? What makes you happy regarding work? Are you in the right spot? Are you in the right place? Do you need to make some adjustments at work? So you're going to make some kind of plan right now. You're going to plan something, either a new plan for a job, or you're going to work in a different way, a more efficient way at work, so you're not feeling too stressed out. So that would be my message for you, my amazing Gemini. Thank you so much for watching. If you want to support my channel, subscribe to it so I can make many more videos for you. Also leave a comment below how this resonates with you. And I hope to see you next time. Thank you so much. Let's go to Cancer. So Cancer, Sun, Moon, and Rising. So we're going to have Aries season starting off in your 10th house. And on the 12th of April at 23 degrees, we're going to have a full moon in your 4th house. And it's opposing Chiron and the Sun in the 10th house, okay? So some of you might be working from home, finding balance at home, okay? It might be that work is a bit messy, it is a bit, yeah, maybe you're not feeling completely at home in the workplace right now, or things are a bit strange or foggy. We have Mercury retrograde up until the 7th. We have Neptune also there in your 10th house. So if you're in a job that is very spiritual, that is very creative, you're gonna thrive with this energy, okay? You can turn your wounds, right, the Chiron in the 10th house, into art, into a message. And this is where your power is. So where it hurts, where you're feeling maybe insecure, is where your answer is in doing your campaigns or whatever you're working on. If you're in a really exact job, you know, don't feel very guilty, because it might be that you're zoning out more than you want to. You could be seeing your boss or your authority in a, you know, you're not really sure what you have with this person, and it might be confusing. Okay, make sure to meditate, because Neptune wants you to connect with something higher than yourself, and then it's easier to see what's really going on. Okay, so don't come to too quick conclusions, because it's a bit of a confusive energy. But if you can connect to something higher than yourself, meditate, also with Jupiter there in the 12th house, you can actually thrive. And if you're in a healing job, you're gonna do amazing. Okay, we have Saturn, Venus, and the North Node in your 9th house. So a lot of you Cancers are on expedition investigation, so to speak, about learning about the world, learning about the secrets of the world, being skeptical, which I think is really good. Being skeptical of teachers, of spirituality, because we have Saturn in Pisces. Being skeptical is really good, because you're going to make your own answers. You're going to investigate, and spirituality is not something you can show people, because it's very personal from one to another. And when you've had an awakening, there's no question, okay? But you have to experience it yourself. Otherwise, it's gonna look like boo-ha and all, you know, it's gonna sound very strange. So you have to take your own path and figure that out. And that is what you are doing, Cancer. You're going on your own path, and you're gonna do your own investigation. By the end of the month, so after the 18th of April, be very careful with your money, okay? Be very careful with money scams, you know, insurance companies, all these things that are offering you something, investing, new investments. Be very careful for money scams, okay? Also, this new moon on the 27th of April, we have this new moon in your 11th house, and it's in a T-square with, you know, this opposition. So with Pluto in the 8th house and Mars in the 2nd house. So this can create definitely some stir-ups with money. So don't fall too easily for quick money schemes around this time. It's not the time for that. Also, new friendships made around the 27th of April. Be very careful. See what this person is about, because there might be some friends exposed, okay? Because you have Pluto in the 8th house, and you know what, Cancer? You're taking off so many layers. You're taking off so many layers, and you have this massive opportunity to awaken on so many levels. And Pluto really wants to show you the truth of things, because Pluto in the 8th house is like, yeah, I'm gonna show you the reality. And it's very annoying, because maybe others don't see that yet. And the trick is not to convince other people what you're seeing, feeling, and thinking, but to take action on your own. The messenger, look at that. Like, a lot of you are messengers, or you might be getting a message this month that's gonna change a lot for you. But intuitively, I feel you're becoming a messenger, as some of you are starting to channel a messenger of spirituality, okay? Yeah, bringing harmony and balance, which is also related to this full moon, this massive healing. So, you know, even if you're in a normal job, people don't know sometimes you're channeling. And, you know, you can channel in any kind of job, because it literally transmutes very good ideas. It's about being creative, and that's what the South Node in Virgo and the North Node in Pisces wants to tell you, right? To combine those two. Stay grounded. So stay grounded. You might be very excited and you want to share a lot of your experiences or a lot of what you're going through, but stay grounded. Take it one step at a time. Saturn with the North Node is telling you, okay, be calm about it. Let it go through you and like experience it and ground yourself so you're not flying up in the air, which is going to be really important. So that's my message for you, my amazing Cancer. If you like this video, if you want to support more of my videos, subscribe to my channel, leave a comment below how this resonates with you, and I hope to see you next time. Thank you so much. Let's move on now to Leo. So Leo, Sun, Moon, and Rising. For you, we have this month, we're starting our Aries season in your 9th house. And we're going to have a full moon in the sign of Libra on the 12th of April, which is going to highlight the 3rd house. And it's going to be in an opposition with the 9th house with Chiron there. So there's a lot of you that are going on a trip. And this trip might really bring a lot of healing to you, okay? Maybe you're going on a retreat, literally, because Neptune is now in the 9th house. So if some of you want to go on a retreat or you want to do like a weekend away, doing some kind of workshop, you can do a lot of massive healing. Also, the North Node is now this month with Saturn and Venus. And Venus is going to station retrograde, station direct on the 12th, on this full moon in your 8th house. So you've been taking off many layers. You've been breaking a lot of cycles and patterns. And definitely sometimes traveling, relaxing, going out of your comfort zone is getting that done. So a lot of you Leo and Leo ascendants, you've been traveling, and you've been opening your world, you've been networking, making new friends, because you have Jupiter in the 11th house, and it's really literally expanding your world. And that's going to heal the way you see the world, because maybe there are times that you think it's so unfair what is happening with Chiron there in the 9th house. You're like, who am I in comparison to this whole world and what is happening? What can I do about it? I cannot do anything about it. So there might be a bit of frustration there, right? But slowly, when you're traveling and you're moving, you could be meeting people and you see that the difference is not so big after all, right? And also the 3rd house and the 9th house is very much related to studying. So you might be diving in a new study, reading a book, buying a new book, and starting something new. Now, keep in mind, we have Neptune in the 9th house, so you might be zoning out sometimes, okay? You might be feeling a bit more foggy, and you want to not only understand it with your mind, the information that you're reading, but you also want to feel the information. And that's going to be, you want to feel it on an intuitive level, because if you don't get it there, it's probably not going to stick in your mind. So you're going to work on doing both. Then there's going to be a new moon on the 27th of April in the sign of Taurus, which is going to be in your 10th house. Now, my lovely Leos, we're going to have a T-square with Mars in your sign, okay? And especially if you have 4 degrees, Sun, Moon, or Rising, it's going to be in an opposition with Pluto in the 3rd house. So be very careful in this day what you're doing at work. It's not to laugh about, but I'm laughing because it's going to be a very, very powerful energy. So use this energy for the good, because otherwise you might regret it, because you're going to be very direct and you're going to be very passionate, but this might rub people the wrong way. So be very careful with this new moon. In a positive sense, it's going to change your world. You're going to see things completely different and maybe make some bold changes, some bold moves for some of you. The Void, great cosmic womb, embrace winter. I feel like this is where you've been. Like some of you have felt like you've been in this phase, like this in-between phase, not really sure what's the next step. And especially for some of your relationships have been more difficult, right? And if you're an early degree Leo, you have Pluto in an opposition. So there have been some control, being controlled, controlling yourself, and there has to be a fine line. So, you know, in order to go out of this dynamic, I want to be in the void. But when we're in the void, we can recollect, reconnect, and that's what you've been doing. Because Leo, you're a child of the cosmos. Look at that card. So pretty. The intelligence of the universe lies within you, right? And if there are any psychics, any people that are saying that people are not able to do that, we are all multidimensional beings. You just have to connect and you can get a lot of information. It's like Google in your body, okay? And this is accessible for everyone. But you have to be in the frequency to receive that information, right? So have a good diet, be on the right level, so to speak. Everybody can get there. So, you know, people sometimes say, yeah, but you this, that, and that. It's like, no, you can do it as well. Everyone can do it, right? Maybe I spent some past lives training that a bit more often, but that's why I'm teaching you that you can do that as well, that you can access this information, and it's gonna make your life so much easier because you're gonna have more clarity, you're gonna have more understanding, and it's gonna be much easier to get out of the rut. Like if you're in the void or in a difficult situation, you can really quickly recover. So yeah, because you get the knowledge from the universe, which is super, super beautiful. Anyways, that's my message for you, my amazing Leos. Thank you so much for watching. If you want to support my channel, if you want to see more videos, subscribe to it and leave a comment below how this resonates with you. And thank you so much, and until next time. So let's move on now to Virgo. So Virgo, Sun, Moon, and Rising. For you, we have Aries season in your 8th house. And we have this full moon in Libra on the 12th of April in your 2nd house, highlighting your money, okay? Neptune just moved into your 8th house. So be very, very careful with betrayal with money or too good to be true situations, as well with investments, because you have Chiron in the 8th house. Especially for my lovely Virgo risings, okay? You have Chiron there in the 8th house, Mercury retrograde up until the 7th of April, and Neptune in the 8th house. So it's not a good time for investments. So be very careful if you're making new investments or quick money schemes. Like, this is not the time to go for that. It is, though, the time now to balance your income and to find new ways to make more money. And that's gonna it's gonna go a lot better, because now the South Node is out of the 2nd house. That was draining your money up until the beginning of this year. So you're gonna recover, rebalance, and it's almost like, you know, you can be collaborating with other people. Just be very careful with that, because I know you have Libra in the 2nd house. That's sometimes collaborating with others, making money, but you have North Node and Saturn in the 7th house. So it could be that it might be going a bit more difficult, okay? So be very patient. And in general, in relationships as well, this is a time to be patient, understanding, and also look on the long term. And you've been cleaning up a lot in your relationships, okay? So if you're single, you have been healing from past relationships, you've had Venus retrograde, or you have Venus retrograde up until this full moon on the 12th, and it's going to station direct again. So you're going to feel a bit better with that, and you feel like you have learned a lot. So if you had any lessons regarding love, then you're going to definitely feel a bit better. The North Node is pulling you towards, making sure that you're able to lean on someone else sometimes, even take responsibility for someone else, but it should not, definitely not be at the cost of yourself ever, okay, Virgo? Jupiter in the 10th house is making you thrive. So after mid-April, things are gonna go a lot faster for you because we're gonna go out of these retrogrades, and yeah, work can go smooth. You're gonna have many opportunities coming to you. Some of you are even working 2 jobs, or you've started something on your own on the side, and that might start going very well for you. We have a new moon in Taurus, and it's going to be on the 27th of April at 7 degrees, and you're going to be highly impacted if you're a Virgo at 7 degrees, around 7 degrees, sun, moon, or rising. And this could trigger a trip for you, but you have to be very careful with your health. If you're sick, you're not feeling well, because Pluto is in the 6th house and it's opposing Mars in the 12th. So this is not a time to do too much. And you're going to feel a bit frustrated because you probably want to go really quick. But this is a time, if you go on a holiday, do it to rest, plan it very well. And if you have to reschedule and you feel that you have to reschedule, listen to that intuition. We have a lot of intense energies, okay? So listen to your intuition. Getting throat chakra. So a lot of you are healing the throat chakra, but you're also healing from speaking up. Like maybe you had problems speaking up, especially about more vulnerable discussions, right? With people, because Mars was retrograde in your 8th house, still in Aries, and Chiron has been, you know, your wound in the 8th house, being vulnerable. So maybe you had a difficult time telling people what's on your heart, what's on your mind, but actually confronting that is going to make you, look at that, a triumph, and especially in work. Yeah, sometimes we have a mask on, or we are protecting ourselves from, because we think that if people really know us, they can hurt us. But if you have strong boundaries and you're being yourself, nothing can happen. It's really what you allow people to do. Third eye chakra. Okay, so we also have here a rebalancing of your spiritual insight. Maybe you haven't meditated in a while and it's time to do that again. Also, 9th house is about studying. So if your study is impacting your health, be very careful. Maybe you need to change your diet. You need to change your routines. And as I said at the beginning of the video, I'm a Virgo and I definitely needed to change my diet. Like I didn't even I knew I had less energy and I couldn't pinpoint it, but it was definitely an allergy, and I stopped eating bread and all these things, and I'm feeling so much better, so much more energetic. I'm having all the chakras for you, so I don't know what you're doing, Virgo, but you're like cleansing and cleaning. You're really like making sure that with Pluto in the 6th house that you are optimizing your health. So if you're suffering from something, of course, go to a doctor. I never say don't do that, because I think that's very wise. But on the long term, how can you heal that? With food, with meditation, and with sports. Like do some sports that really suit you, okay? And also Pluto in the 6th house could have been causing anxiety, because we're talking about, you know, an air sign. So it's about dealing with the air and maybe a lot of overthinking, which could lead to a bit of anxiety. So make sure to stay calm, stay in peace, and you're going to be just fine, my lovely Virgo. So if you like this video and you want me to make many more videos for you, subscribe to my channel, leave a comment below how this resonates with you, and I hope to speak and see you next time. Thank you so much. Let's move on to Libra. So Libra, Sun, Moon, and Rising. For you, we have this Aries season in your 6th house. And then we have Taurus season in your 8th house, okay? We have a full moon in your sign on the 12th of April at 23 degrees. So if you have your sun, your moon, or your rising at 23 degrees, you're going to be super impacted, okay? And this is not just because of this full moon, but also because of Chiron. So in general, you have Chiron in an opposition. So if you have around 23 degrees, your sun, moon, and rising, you've been doing a lot of healing, okay? And this is very much related to you versus others. So not losing yourself in a relationship, not losing yourself in a friendship or in a business partnership. Like, yes, you can compromise, but you shouldn't do it at the cost of who you are, right? Like, there needs to be a balance. So if you give too little, you're going to attract people that only give, and you're going to be bored because that's boring. And if you give too much, you're going to attract someone very selfish and very self-serving, which is also not great because you're going to lose your identity. So maybe you had to go through some cycles for some of you to learn that, right? If you're sticking with your boundaries and you know what you give, and, you know, just like breathing, we have to give and take. And the same is in relationships, that we stay balanced. And once you get that right, you're going to attract someone. This is for people who are single. If you're in a relationship, there might have been something you need to talk about, okay? That you need to heal, that you need to work out together. Some of you had to take care of your partner. See if you can get some help with that, if that's you. We also have now Neptune in the 7th house, okay? And Neptune can do two things. It's a very, very romantic and dreamy planet. So you might fall for people that, you know, you put on your pink colored glasses and you think, oh, this is it. This is it for me. Make sure to ground yourself, to meditate, to make sure that the person you thought that person was, that person is. You can only know that through time. So I always say it's better to wait, if you know what I mean, to get to know the person, to see who is really there. Who's really, you know, is that person wearing a mask, or is that person really who you say is there? Okay, that will create less mental conflict. If you're in a relationship, maybe you have been having some questions, okay? We have the North Node, Saturn, and Venus. Venus retrograde up until the 12th, up until this full moon. It's definitely highlighting a lot about your relationships, how you are relating to the other person. And it might be impacting your health even, because we have the North Node with Saturn. So be very careful with your health. If someone is not good for your health, okay, just think about it. How can you make things better, right? I'm not really about to give up soon, because you can always make things work, but you have to be realistic. This is what Saturn wants. It wants you to be realistic. So in general, if you feel your heart is not doing so well, because Venus is also the heart, it's in the 6th house, go to a doctor and see what you can do in the long term, right? Because I, for example, had a heart problem back in 2020 at the beginning, and it just came out of nowhere. And I didn't realize what it was. I know that when I was younger, I had it sometimes. And you know, it was me giving too much for years, giving, and at the cost of myself. And that was creating my heart problem. So when I solved that, I solved my heart problem. I could just stop medication. I don't recommend people doing that, you know, do it under guidance. I got the message from my guides, and, you know, it hasn't come back. I'm going to knock it off, but it hasn't come back. So a lot of illnesses, a lot of things that we feel in our body are related to a pattern that we have, okay? We have this new moon in Taurus, okay? And it's making a T-square with Mars and Pluto. So it's in the 8th house and it's aspecting the 5th and the 11th. So be very careful with friends. I wouldn't hang out with friends on that day, but also it can show you some definitely more clarity. The same with relationships. Once again, power struggles, okay? Be careful with power struggles around this day, with friends, with your community. New beginning. A lot of you are gonna walk a new beginning, and it's gonna happen very soon. Yeah, like I said, May is gonna go a lot quicker. You will know the second part of April, it's already gonna start, but from May on, you're gonna feel a lot more energy and you will know where to go. Also, Jupiter in the ninth house, right? Like a lot of you have been traveling. It's a beautiful time to travel if you haven't already. Just be careful around this new moon, I would say, with traveling. Okay, so yeah, that's my message for you, my amazing Libras. Thank you so much for being here. If you want to support my channel, you want me to make many more videos, make sure that you share, you like, you subscribe to my channel, leave a comment because I read all of them. Thank you so much for being here. And until next time, let's move on to Scorpio. So Scorpio, Sun, Moon, and Rising. For you, we're starting off with Aries season in your 6th house. And not only do we have Chiron there, we also have Neptune now in the sign of Aries this month from the 30th of March. And we're going to have a full moon in Libra on the 12th of April at 23 degrees in your 12th house. And this is highlighting your health, your routines, and what Libra wants is balance, okay? And when it is in the 12th house, it's like you need to balance rest. So not rest too much, but also not constantly running or doing things, and especially feeling guilty. Because Chiron in the 6th house can make you feel guilty that you haven't worked enough, you haven't done enough, you should be doing more. Why can't I be quicker and faster? And now is the time to accept that rest is necessary. Like we can't just keep going. And if, maybe it's just not the right time yet now to move full on, okay? And we also have the North Node, Saturn, and Venus is going to station direct on this full moon as well in your 5th house. So there's a sense of destiny there. Some of you are expecting this year, expecting a child, and that might be like a big responsibility, right? Because Saturn is saying, this is a big responsibility. So it might feel a bit heavy, but at the same time, if you're prepared, if you're, if you're staying healthy is really, really important. You're gonna be just fine, okay? Same with love. If you're single, be a bit careful around this new moon because we're gonna have a new moon in Taurus. This is gonna be on the 27th of April at 7 degrees. So especially if you're a Scorpio rising, someone who's rising at 7 degrees, you're gonna be super impacted because it's gonna make like a cross with this new moon, with Pluto and with Mars, okay? And Pluto is in the 4th house, Mars is in the 10th, and this new moon is in the 7th, okay? It's gonna make a grand cross, very highly destiny, but at the same time, who are you dealing with, okay? So there might be difficulty at work, difficulty with partner. This is pulling you into different sides and it might make you explode. So you're gonna have to make a decision. Same if you're meeting someone new around this day, make sure that what you see is what you get. So give it time, okay, to see how this is developing. So May is definitely a better month for love, okay, if you're looking for a love. Jupiter in the 8th house might be bringing in some lucky money, some money from different sources, like, maybe from taxes or insurances, things like that. And you might be just getting a lucky break with that. But a lot of you, rest and rejuvenate. So find rest. Like, don't feel guilty if you feel very tired. Especially around this full moon, it's going to show you what maybe you need to do in order to change your routines and have patience. Like you want to move forward now, you want to go for it now. And they're telling me to look at the number on the card, which is 14. So in numerology would be 5. So, having a bit of fun and but especially I feel having fun with creating, because 5 is also 5th house, and the South Node is now in the 11th house. So maybe some of you are feeling less like socializing and more like being on your own, creating. Patience and planning. So I literally got 2 cards for patience and planning. Okay, so be patient. The right time is coming, okay? Because I know some of you are really like itchy, like want to do it now. We have Mars in the 10th house, so you want to go really quick, especially after the 18th, right? You're going to have Mars in Leo in the 10th house. So it's going to make you want to go fast, but don't go too fast. Be patient and make sure to have a good plan, because the North Node is with Saturn. So it's telling you to be strategic, to be patient, and to deal with it in an authoritative way. So that would be my message for you, my amazing Scorpio. If you like this video, subscribe to my channel. Support me by sending me some comments. I read all of them. Thank you so much for being here. And until next time, let's move on to Sagittarius. So Sagittarius, Sun, Moon, and Rising. So for you, we have Aries season starting off in your 5th house, and this full moon on the 12th of April is going to be at 23 degrees in your 11th house. So this has to do with your friendships and your community. A lot of you feel a lot of support with your friends, okay? And it's really healing your inner child, because Chiron is in the 5th house now. And during this full moon, it's going to make an opposition with Chiron. And you're healing this wounds, maybe feeling like you can't fully express yourself. So it might be that you just found a group, a community of people that you can fully be yourself with, and that's gonna bring a lot of healing to you, okay? Neptune is now in the 5th house, so there is a massive creative energy. So you are able to express your identity through art, to artistic expression, okay? So work with it slowly, start on your own. You don't have to do something professional with that. You can just start small and see if you can find a beautiful hobby that will help you, heal this inner child, and be very playful, because playfulness is so important. And if any sign knows how to be playful, it's definitely Sagittarius. You're ruled by Jupiter, so you are able to stay young for a long time by being playful, by having faith, okay? Venus, after this full moon, is going to station direct, and Jupiter is in the 7th house, so you are going to be in a love cycle, especially after mid-April. You have an opportunity to meet someone new, and if you want to get married as well, that would be a really nice time, especially May. But be aware around this new moon, which is going to be in Taurus. Not a great time to travel or have a honeymoon or something like this, okay? If you do have that, make sure to prepare well, that you read everything carefully. And if your health says, because it's in the 6th house in Taurus, if your health is saying you're sick, you're not feeling well, it's for a reason, okay? You're not supposed to go. Jump in. Say yes to change, adventure. So a lot of you are craving this adventure. And you know what? Sometimes adventure can be starting with something small. Like you don't always have to travel really far to have adventure. So you're gonna find your adventure in your own little world. The fated life versus the destiny life. I remember soul plan. Okay, so in big lines, a lot of us have a soul plan, okay? A lot of us have been working on certain skills in past lives, which we can see with the South Node. And I have to talk about this because I see now that you have the South Node in the 10th house. So a lot of you Sagittarius, you're going to unlock some old talents from past lives, and you're going to slowly do something with that. Okay? The North Node is now in the 4th house, so maybe you're going to work on that from home. Just be patient with it. It's not going to go very quick with Saturn this month. Also, if you're moving, be very patient, okay? Because the move might be bringing a few obstacles here and there. Perspective, zoom out, common ground, none of it matters. So on the big scale, like if there's a situation that has been a bit complicated, also if you're studying, you know, by the end of the month, there might be some struggles coming up, especially with Pluto and Mars in an opposition. Look at it from a different perspective. Like I'm hearing like you're not a failure. If you think you're a failure because you're not making it work in one time, maybe you're gonna see different perspectives by failing, so to speak, right? And I think it's so beautiful to try, because people who feel they actually tried, they actually are trying different things, and you can gather this wisdom and make them into like one package. Like you can learn from each and every single situation. You just have to change your perspective on everything, and you're gonna actually see that everything was meant to happen to pull you in a different direction. So don't be so hard on yourself, like one step at a time. And if things don't work out right away or as you wanted them to work out, actually it was just meant to bring you on a different path, or on a similar path with more knowledge and more wisdom. Okay, because if everything goes really smooth and it's really flowing, it's not gonna bring so much wisdom, right? Like we learn by failing, we learn by by things not always working out for us. It makes us stronger, it makes us having a better personality. So yeah, anyways, that's my message for you, my amazing Sagittarius. If you like this video, subscribe to my channel, leave a comment below how this resonates with you, and I hope to speak and see you next time. Thank you so much. Let's move on now to Capricorn. Capricorn, Sun, Moon, and Rising. So for you, we have Aries season starting off in your 4th house. And during this full moon in Libra, which will happen on the 12th of April 2025 at 23 degrees in your 10th house, there's going to be a lot of focus on finding balance in work. And for some of you, there might even be a new opportunity coming in for work around this day. The good thing is that Mercury is going to station direct after the 7th of April. And Venus during this full moon is going to station direct in your 3rd house. So your communication is definitely going to go a bit smoother, even though it's with the North Node, Venus and Saturn still for the rest of the month. It just requires more strategic communication. It's about patience. So if you're studying, you need a little bit more patience, but actually you can excel, because if you're taking it more slow, taking more time, you learn a lot more than being fast, because it will also leave your memory much faster. Okay, so you're gonna work more on lasting communication. So for example, if you're making videos, you're gonna do a lot of research, and you're gonna make sure that you don't forget any details. So you're gonna make a more lasting impact, which is what you are working on, okay? There's also a massive healing taking place when it comes to the family. So Chiron there in the 4th house is bringing in some woundings, maybe a little bit of insecurities, like I cannot be fooling myself or my family, especially with Chiron in Aries, which is related to identity. So I'm not feeling fully comfortable. And now also we have Neptune in the 4th house. And you know, Neptune in the 4th house could create some fogginess. Also related to the house, leaks. So be very careful with leaks, water leaks, and also it could activate addiction that has been in the family line. So be very, very mindful of that. That's the shadow side, but in the positive side, you can actually, because it's from the root, it's your grounding. So you can actually also activate spiritual talents that has been dormant in the family or has been used in your ancestral line. You can activate that. So if you're meditating, especially at home, you can have very, very strong connections, okay? So a job change. Then on the 27th of April, there's going to be a new moon in your 5th house in the sign of Taurus. And especially because it's going to be at 7 degrees. So if you're a 7-degree Capricorn Sun, Moon, or Rising, it's going to be highly impacting you, okay? One thing to not do is to gamble during this new moon or do any major changes with money, because we have an opposition with Pluto in the 2nd house and Mars in the 8th house. So this could create some tension. So it's not a good day to spend a lot of money or to gamble, but it is a beautiful time to do a lot of inner child healing, to be creative, and to empower yourself, because in the positive way, this square with Pluto and Mars can really empower you. And you can break some massive cycles, some insecurities that you've been having. Uranus is going to be super strong as well this month. So also if you're around 26 degrees, Sun, Moon, or Rising, you're going to have lots and lots of ideas. Uranus is going to aspect Venus this month. And also around the 5th, that could be a major day for you where you're going to have a massive breakthrough, because we have almost, we have so many planets in a sextile with Uranus. Look at that, wisdom. So write them all down. You might have many ideas, too many ideas that could make you a bit restless. Look at that, destiny. So that might be something that's going to bring you closer to your destiny. Okay, it's going to give you a glimpse of what is meant for you, right? We're always evolving, always learning, never standing still. So there's not just one destiny, but there's going to be something that's going to be, it's kind of feeling faded for you, okay? Prosperity begins. So look at that. You're going to unlock something very major, Capricorn. You're going to have some really good ideas there. And Jupiter in the 6th house is going to help you with, especially with work, expanding work. Just make sure that you stay grounded. But I know, Capricorn, you're an earth sign. So in general, you're more grounded. But it's important to stay grounded and not to be too hard on yourself. You can actually handle all of it. Just take some rest, do some meditation at home. Connect with your ancestors, and you're gonna be fully supported. So that's gonna be my message for you. Thank you so much. If you want to support my channel, subscribe to it so I can make many more videos for you. Leave a comment below how this resonates with you, and I hope to see and speak to you next time. Thank you so much. Let's move on to Aquarius. So Aquarius, Sun, Moon, and Rising. We're starting off with Aries season in your 3rd house. And as you know, we've been having Chiron there in the 3rd house. And we have an upcoming full moon in Libra, which is going to be in your 9th house on the 12th of April at 23 degrees. So if you're an Aquarius at 23 degrees, Sun, Moon, and Rising, you're going to be highly impacted by this full moon. Okay, it might trigger a trip for you. You might be traveling. We have Neptune now also in the 3rd house. So for some of you, you feel like you're zoning out a little bit, or you're a bit up in the air and it's hard to focus. Don't be very hard on yourself, okay? Especially at the beginning of the month. There's a Mercury retrograde up until the 7th. And Venus retrograde up until this full moon, up until the 12th of April. So things... it might have been hard to focus, okay? But things are going to improve a little bit more. And sometimes, you don't always have to learn through reminding yourself with the mind, right? If you're studying, you can also work with images to remember things better, because Neptune works better with creativity and images and colors. So you could do something like that. So if you are into spirituality, you could be making a trip where by the sea, or doing a retreat around this day. So it's a perfect day to do a certain workshop, to rebalance yourself, okay? And this can be a place where you feel safe and you feel heard, because you have an opportunity now to speak up and to heal, okay? Same with your siblings. So if there has been some difficulty with siblings, there might be a very powerful speech happening. You might be traveling to them. and you might be talking about something that's definitely very, very healing for both of you. Okay, the North Node is with Saturn and Venus. Like I said, Venus retrograde up until the 12th in the second house. So this is related to your money, okay? And even though it feels uncomfortable, it feels a bit difficult, and maybe the money is not running in as quick as you thought it would, Saturn says be persistent, make a good plan, be very strategic, and you will manage, okay? And the South Node in the 8th house is telling you to not maybe rely on outside sources, like, you know, investments. This is time to do it on your own and to make it happen, okay? Then we have this, we have a new moon in the sign of Taurus, which will happen in the 4th house. And this will happen at 7 degrees. And it's making a T-square with Pluto in your sign and Mars, okay? So this is highly impacting you, this new moon. And it can be related to family. So avoid family dramas with family and your partner, because we have Mars in an opposition in the 7th house. So it could impact a business partner or a romantic partner, okay? And it could even impact you if you're single. Maybe they're starting to say like, oh, where's your partner? Like, why don't you meet anyone? And that might kind of piss you off. You are going through massive transformation, especially Aquarius, if you're around 3 degrees. Sun, Moon, and Rising, you're going through a massive, massive transformation. And especially around this day, the things that make you mad or piss you off or something like that, it's going to help you heal that, because you're going to step out of something. Foundation and achievements, okay? So some of you are moving out somewhere, moving out from a partner, moving out from the family home, because the shadow side we just discussed. But actually, it can also be a very empowering day. If you use the energies right, Pluto and Mars are gonna, you know, say, you know what, I'm gonna live on my own. I can do this. This is something that I want for a long time. And we also have beautiful aspects with the 4th house, okay? With Uranus in the 4th house. And they're aspecting, your planet is in the 2nd house of money. So, yeah, I feel like this rebellious thing, like, I'm just gonna do this, I'm gonna do that. Empowering yourself. Partnerships and alliances, just like I said. Okay, you're being triggered right now. Like, what is a partner that you would like? Have you been with people that actually matched you? Are they actually equal with you? Yeah, so you're revising that. Harmony. Look at that. A relationship is about harmony. And things are not always perfect, right? But you're not supposed to fight every single day. That's exhausting, you know? And people want all this excitement and, you know, this really lustful relationships, because it makes you feel awake and your heart is being ripped out. But it's not realistic to sustain that on the long term. You can do that for fun for a little while, you know? Nobody's judging, but on the long term, that's not sustainable. You're gonna feel so insecure and so everything. That's not what you want for the long term. Like, you want someone that's gonna balance you, ground you, like your best friend, like someone that you can spend your days with, your good days, your bad days, and that fully accepts you for who you are, okay? Transformation, look at that. So you're transforming now to the right person, or at least in a relationship that you're in, that you are showing clear boundaries, what you accept, what you don't accept, what it is that you truly want in your own heart, right? Jupiter now in the 5th house, so you have an opportunity to meet new people. Just make sure that they are actually what they say they are, getting third eye. So listen to this intuition of yours, okay? So yeah, Jupiter at 20 degrees. So if you're 20 degree Sun, Moon, and Rising, you're gonna have a nice boost, okay? You're actually gonna have a lot of optimism to overcome these obstacles and stand in your power. You're gonna empower yourself. So it's a very exciting time for you. You're definitely gonna come out on the other side better, better than ever, stronger than ever. So keep focusing on what is important to you. Listen to your heart. This is so important. And thank you so much for being here, my amazing Aquarius. If you want to support my channel, subscribe to it, leave a comment below how this resonates with you, and I hope to see you next time. So thank you very much, and let's move on now to Pisces. So Pisces, Sun, Moon, and Rising, we're starting off Aries season in your second house. And, you know, now also we have Neptune since the end of March. We have Neptune also in the second house. So we have Chiron and Neptune there. So this is a bit of a watch out with your money situation, because Neptune can literally drain your money, right? Because Neptune is like dissolving things. So it can literally, like a magic trick, dissolve your money. Like you feel like you had a lot and suddenly it's gone. On the positive side, if you want to work with these energies, it's good to manifest and to stay in a strong energy, because then you can also attract money to you, Pisces. We have a full moon on the 12th of April at 23 degrees in your 8th house. And again, this is opposing your second house, right? And even more specific, it's going to be in an opposition with Chiron. So there might be some help coming in for you. Now the South Node is in the 7th house, right? So it's not blocking money from third-party sources anymore. That could be draining money, like debts or organizations that were sending you bills that you don't want. So that is kind of resolved. And now it's time to maybe ask for some support. Some of you are doing some type of investment, but I would wait until Saturn and Venus are separating more, because this month they're together with the North Node, right? And we have Venus retrograde up until the 12th, up until this full moon. So I would wait. Personally, I would wait, but there might be some help coming in, something small, some support that's gonna help you start up, set something new up, okay? So just be careful with money spending. We have the North Node, Saturn, and Venus there in the 1st house. So you are definitely going on a new path. This new path is difficult. It requires a lot of responsibility, but it's gonna reward you in the end, because you are going to be the best version of yourself, right? Like if you're running away from something, you're no longer doing that. And also the South Node is in the 7th house. So some of you have been broken, or a relationship has, you've broken up with a partner and you're fully now empowering yourself. And it's a difficult situation, right? Going from being in a couple by being on your own. If you stay in a relationship, you will see that you feel like you want to be more independent. Maybe you want to earn your own money and focus less on your partner. Literally, your partner could be losing a job, which makes you in a position that you need to support, you need to help. And in the highest perspective, with the South Node in the 7th house, it could bring someone back from the past. Someone that you're reconnecting with, and especially after this Venus retrograde, someone that's gonna support you and push you towards your dreams. That's the highest possibility of this placement, okay? Or even your partner that's saying, you know, now is the time that maybe you go after your dreams, that you do something for you that you wanted to do for a long time, and it's not easy. You know, and it doesn't matter the age. Some people say I'm too old. No, you're never too old. You're never too something. There's always a solution, okay? And there is Jupiter in the 4th house. So after mid-April, definitely a better time for you to buy, sell, or rent a house. Earth School, life lessons, soul growth, study, higher learning. And it's funny because we are just about to talk about this new moon on the 27th of April. It's in your 3rd house. So this is about studying. Maybe you're studying something new, because that's going to be your new path, something that you want to take. We do have, during this new moon, a T-square with Mars in the 6th house and Pluto in the 12th. So be very careful that you're not overdoing something that is going to impact your health. So take rest, and also regarding colleagues, be very, very careful with colleagues because they might be saying something behind your back, or there might be a little bit of gossiping going on. Be very mindful with that. But also stay true to yourself, right? Like, you don't have to walk on your toes. It's just like, sometimes it's better to wait for the right moment to speak up. And this new moon is very empowering new moon, but it also can rub people the wrong way. Called soul gifts and training. It's time to step up. Look at that. It's time to step up, Pisces. So you are working on some skills. You're working towards a new beginning that's way more suiting for you. And big picture thinking, inspired ideas. So you might have a lot of ideas, but Saturn is saying take your time, make a good plan, because maybe the plans that you have are quite big and they require lot of like well-planned actions. So don't be too hasty. Okay. The 7 star sisters. Expression, birthing, creations. Again, this is about you creating something new. And look how freeing these people, these 7 sisters, the star system, right? But look at this image. These people feel free. So maybe doing something that is closer to your heart is going to make you feel a lot more free. And maybe it's hard work now, but on the long term, when the routine is there, you're gonna, you know, it's gonna be such a relief for you. So massive transformation. Watch out with money. And also, you know, be gentle with your body, with your health, especially towards the end of the month. Don't push through too much. Because that could be creating injuries. So if you're tired or something like that, do some slower workout, right? Because it wants to work out, but not too extreme, because that might, your anger might be going into you not paying well enough attention. So that's my message for you. My amazing Pisces, thank you so much for watching, and until next time, thank you.